Hello!
And welcome to Small Flower TV. I'm
This-
JQ.
I am TQ.
We're the Q Brothers. And
And
this is Small Flower TV. I already said that.
Today we're going to talk about a pretty important figure in the world of Western European herbalism.
And pretty much this store is like,
Yep.
you know, there's
Yep.
huge inspiration for a lot of the products in this store.
We're talking about Maria Treben, author of the worldwide famous book, Health Through God's Pharmacy.
It's in, I think it was put into 20-some languages or something like that.
27
Health
languages or
Through
something like
God's
that.
Pharmacy, Romanian. Sănătate din farmacia Domnului. And then Slovenian, but I prefer the Croatian pronunciation because I can't do this one. Zdravie i Božje carne. And Polish, Apteka Pana Boga.
What's up? It's my brother.
And I think I have it in Spanish too, but they didn't bring it up.
Yeah. Salud.
Del Señor.
Yeah, that's it. Something like that. Yeah. Farmacia.
Farmacia del Señor.
Farmacia, yeah. Anyway, she was an Austrian-born herbalist.
Folk herbalist.
Folk herbalist, yeah. No, and that's the important thing. So, like, this book, it's amazing. If you're into herbs and teas and you don't have this book, you're missing out. You must have this book. 8 million copies sold worldwide. Became really big in the 80s and continues to be a hot seller. And it goes along with one of the main things she recommends. She talks about all the herbs that were native to her area. So
it's like 20, 30 different herbs, basically.
Yeah, that are generally German and Eastern European herbs, Austrian, that were used in traditional folklore remedies throughout the past couple centuries at
So
least.
she studied under a guy named Dr. Samst. And Samst was a Swedish guy. And that's what the Swedish bitters recipe came from. And Samst was, I believe, 103 or 104 when he died in a horseback riding accident. So he's still riding a horse at 103. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And she ended up living 90,
89
years, something like that.
83 years, something. It's 1907. Do your math really quick. 84 years.
84 years.
1907 to 1991.
She was.
She also had lunch at our house, at my parents' house when we were growing up.
I was there.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I was a little kid. I was like, okay.
I don't know if you can see this, but here's a little picture.
Can I go play with my friends?
Yeah, she looked exactly like that, coming in her vest,
And then she took a walk around the neighborhood with Mom.
yeah.
And pointed out all the plants that were growing wild in our neighborhood and what they were
in our
used
Chicago Northwest
for. And what
side.
they were used for.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. It was like a little bit of, I don't know what the equivalent would be for another thing, but it's a little bit of like contact with a legend.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. So
it's like the Beckham of herbs.
I would say more Pele of herbs.
Oh, there you go.
Let's take it to the real level, not the LA runway level.
So anyway, I take this Swedish bitters every day, twice a day. This is like when Dad first started the business, he ordered. People were asking for this, and he ordered like 12 bottles from Germany. And they came and seven were broken.
Yeah.
That's how this whole store got started.
Well, not also how that's
Pretty
how
cool,
our family's sort of tenure at the store got started.
Yeah,
was through that.
In the early 70s. So,
but can I give? I just want to. This is
her
an example.
herb.
Yeah, well, like this is her favorite herb, but also I don't want to confuse people. Like she talks about a lot of conditions. And the controversy, if there is any about this book, is that it's not a doctor writing, pointing studies out. So the reason for this book is that it does contain a lot of things that we find to be true, and now modern science has validated. But it also contains a lot of things that are anecdotal. And part of the greatness of this book is appreciating the writing of this book. It's like, in a radio program, a physician once pointed out that stinging nettle is one of our most valuable medicinal herbs. Mankind does not realize how valuable it is, or it would plant stinging nettle only. I once told a mother of 7 children who since the last birth had suffered from eczema and headaches to drink nettle tea. In a short time, she was free from the eczema and the headaches too.
It's true, it helps headaches.
You've given it to me when I had a headache, and it did help me a lot.
It also helps. It's also great for skin issues, psoriasis, all kinds of stuff. So, like, I take it. I drink it with my Swedish bitters every day because it helps my psoriasis. So, there's like the other thing is if you look up plantain, it's alphabetical, and she has a poem about plantain as the opening. Oh, Waybrode, right?
Yeah. And
His full name was Waybrode.
And you, Waybrode, mother of plants, open to the east, mighty inside, over your creek wagons, over you rode women, over you rode brides, over you snorted horses, you withstood all and offered resistance. So withstand too the venom and contagion and misfortune that sweep across the land.
Pretty awesome.
That's an Anglo-Saxon source that mentions plantain, Waybrode, as one of the 9 sacred herbs. So you can see, like, for some of you, this is not going to be the book you want, but I know there are some of you watching that's like, oh my god, this is like a treasury of lost knowledge that thankfully isn't lost because this book still continues to sell well, but if you want a little bit of that connection to like ancient herbal traditions.
The other thing is, in there is illustrations of each of the herbs she talks about. And then at the end of the chapter, she'll say, like, you can make a salve out of this. This is great in tincture form. And we carry all those things, which is really cool.
We have a couple hundred different herbs and pretty much everything that Maria Treben talks about.
It's just like, it's a great, I mean, here's a good example, okay? And this is anecdotal, okay?
She talks about splitting salads, making syrups. And it's just like, this is for the...
Here's a good anecdotal one, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I remembered reading Goldenrod, if you look it up. Goldenrod. And I remember them saying that goldenrod was a very, like, beautiful and happy looking plant.
Yeah.
And that actually, it happens to be good for cleansing the kidneys, right? Mm-hmm. And Mom had this kidney issue last year.
Yeah.
She went in and they said it was not high functioning. They were worried about it.
Yeah.
And, like, she was kind of freaking out. Yeah. And I was like, Mom, maybe you should work on disappointment and emotional stress, because that's what she's saying. Kidneys work off the
all our emotions are worked off through the kidneys. Therefore, they are the most affected after an emotional shock, be it a death in the family or any other accident. Goldenrod proves its worth as a medicinal plant which influences human emotions most favorably. It should therefore be drunk without delay in case of disappointments and emotional stress.
So then she took goldenrod with bed straw and yellow dead nettle, and mixed the 3 of them and started drinking 3 cups a day. She went back to the doctor, no issue at all.
Yeah.
And they thought they were going to put her on meds.
Yeah.
Like, she was so happy. We've given this recipe to like 4 or 5 different people who came in the store and have come back with great results. So it's awesome.
This book is a treasure.
I get like choked up.
Yeah, I know. I feel very emotional about this book because it really is. And there are times when I read it and I'm like,
and you laugh.
That's ridiculous. But overall, it's beautiful.
It is, and
it's a tool. It's a great tool.
Exactly, yeah. And I think you got to appreciate someone. When we think to ourselves like, oh, nettle, good for skin and blood cleansing. Like, they had to try all these things and drink a ton of it and work backwards. You know what I mean? Like,
well, she was inheriting tradition of time, having done that over generations. It's really great. So she's a pioneer of herbal medicine. A lot of what we do today, even if it wasn't directly descended from her, I think owes a debt to her popularizing what was folkloric tradition.
Yeah, so
it's really great.
Try some bitters, read the book.
Yeah, enjoy. Gesundheit.
Gesundheit aus der Apotheke Gottes. That's what it is.